Hello listeners, this is Ben speaking. I'd just like to put a little disclaimer at the start of this episode. We did have some audio issues. Unfortunately, when we got to the end of the episode, Trevor realised he'd been recording the whole time through his Oculus Rift, of all things. So hopefully it doesn't bother you too much, and here's the episode. Welcome to Bitstorm, a comedy game design podcast by two guys who know nothing about comedy nor game design. I'm Ben Slinger, and with me, as always, is Trevor Scott.
Hello.
Hello, and we also have a guest with us this week. We have Alex Wynnter from the Dice Hard podcast. Alex, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about Dice Hard and other things you're involved with?
Oh, yeah, sure. My name's Alex Wynnter. I do a Dice Hard podcast, which is a podcast that basically turns a movie into a board game every episode, and we have random guests on, and we have a really good time doing it. We just recorded a Mad Max the other day, which is really good game.
Awesome. I'm going to have to listen to that one.
Oh, yeah, no, it'll be in January, though, so it's a while away.
Oh, okay. Jeez, you guys have a buffer, huh?
Yep, easy. We don't have to do current events. It's just choose a movie and go for it.
That's awesome.
I also am heavily involved in the board game design industry in Australia. I'm currently the president of the Tabletop Game Designers of Australia, which has about 1,400 members at the moment, and we'll have a booth at PAX and everything. So that's pretty exciting.
Ooh, nice.
Fantastic.
We will come and visit you.
Awesome.
I kind of think of Dice Hard as a little bit of a sister podcast to ours, or brother podcast, I guess, sibling podcast. It's we came across you, and you have just a very obviously a very similar improvisational kind of turning one thing into another kind of idea. So
it all happens on the episode. Yeah, we all pitch the idea and then sort of work it out as we go. And it probably takes about 40 minutes, but at the end, it's usually an okay game. The Mad Max one was awesome, though.
Yeah. See, I'm just impressed that you stick to the same idea and really develop it for 40 minutes. We like get to 5 minutes and we're like, okay, we've run out of ideas. Let's click
move on.
Yeah, move on. Speaking of that, I think we'll start into Click Pitch. For those who are just joining us, Click Pitch is a game where we each have a random word generator in front of us, and on the count of 3, 2, 1, click, we'll click refresh and get a new word, and we will turn the combination of those 3 words, in this case, into a game design.
Oh, we're using 3.
And like I said, if it's not going anywhere after a few minutes, we'll click again.
Awesome.
All right, Trevor, do you want to kick us off?
I'll do the honours. 3, 2, 1, click.
Okay, my word is agency.
I've got dustpan.
Dustpan.
Yeah.
Visitor.
Agency, dustpan, visitor. Okay. My immediate thought is some sort of cleaning gremlin that comes in the night to an agency of some sort. I don't know, maybe like a marketing agency or something, some sort of office building.
I'm liking Central Intelligence Agency.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's a good way to take it.
I was sort of thinking with visitor, South Park used to call aliens visitors, so maybe it's...
I was thinking alien.
Yeah.
Okay, we can go aliens, but he's still cleaning because he's got a dustpan.
Yeah.
He or she or
Yeah.
it.
So instead of just replace gremlin with alien and go.
I saw an alien agency that would come, sort of. You'd hire them. They're like a cleaning agency. Alien cleaning agency.
Yeah, okay. I like that. So, some sort of intergalactic cleaning service.
Yep. You can...
So
They clean moons and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Our moon's got a lot of crap on it. Can you just get up there? There's got some footprints or something.
Yeah, somebody's stomped these footprints all the way across this moon.
Yeah.
They left all this junk. Up there. There's some sort of flag or something. Just clean it all up and throw it in your alien dumpster.
Someone keeps firing these rovers at my planet, and my planet's nice and red, and I just don't want any of these tracks anywhere. They could at least send a Roomba.
So we're thinking that we play, obviously, employees of this agency, What's the gameplay looking like? How are we controlling them, and what's the
I
sort of
reckon
goal?
we'd be the agency, and we pick and choose jobs. You base it on how difficult it is. Try and get up a good infrastructure.
Okay, so it's sort of you're running the agency
Yep.
as a whole,
Yep.
and hiring and firing and
Yeah.
buying equipment.
You can't have lazy aliens. They're the worst.
I like the idea that the different alien species then kind of have different specialties. Like some of them
Yeah.
are really good at, dusting moons.
You could have one that just eats planets, and you're like, oh, sorry, your planet's just too dirty.
Yeah, your planet's been written off. It's too damaged.
Yep.
It's too dirty. That asteroid that hit it and killed half the life on it, just, no, we can't cover that. So.
No. But we can give you a lot of money for the spare parts.
Yeah, that's it. Break it down for junk.
You just have to wait 3 weeks for it to come out the other end.
Yes.
What does come out the other end of a giant planet-eating creature? What's the waste from it? I don't think we
Comets.
have to go into it.
Moons.
An asteroid belt.
Yeah. That's really cool. Yeah, so it's sort of management sim kind of thing.
Yeah, it's him. Yeah.
Yeah, watching your little your little trucks agency with your banner on the side, which of course you can design. Your little spaceships flying around the solar system or the galaxy. Okay.
So I'm just wondering, should there be like a certain mode that you can get into that is kind of like XCOM Enemy Unknown, except you're playing the enemies, the aliens.
Cleaners. You have to go do the actual cleaning as well.
Cleaners.
Oh, that's okay. That's when you get up to the higher levels, and it's sort of the other definition of cleaners, which is like just totally
Just
take out.
eradicating
Yeah, like come down and clean up some rebel force on the planet.
Yeah, actually, you could do that too. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily have to be a dirty planet. It could be, dirty cops or.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. It just escalates as you go through the game. It's like initially, it literally is just. Someone dropped some litter on my moon. And then later on, it's like, this government needs cleaning up.
And then later on, the human race is a virus.
Yeah, we need a Death Star.
We need to vaccinate now.
It's not even like that's the last level or something. That's just one of the random levels in between is that you eradicate the human race. It's just one of the filler levels.
Yeah.
You don't realize until you get there.
In one level, you end up at like the bureaucratic aliens from Rick and Morty, and you got to do some sort of job for
It's
them.
ripe for Easter eggs.
Oh yeah,
Futurama jokes. Get hired by what was it? Dupe. Was that it? The Democratic Order of Planets or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I think we've sucked the juice out of that one.
It was a good one.
Let's click again.
suck that well dry. Three,
Yep.
two, one, click.
Ooh,
Mill.
necking.
Necking
Yeah.
with an N.
Yep.
Okay. My word was scenery.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm just seeing like a miller's daughter and like a stable boy necking behind the old mill, watching scenery. So
A dating simulator.
No, it's a
Pretty
kissing.
much,
It's a
just-
kissing simulator.
Oh, you need to have one of those motion activated tongues that you can interact with.
Yeah. Here you go. It's a custom peripheral. The little screen comes up and says, before playing the game, make sure to moisten your tongue peripheral appropriately to taste.
Oh god.
I don't know where to go from there on that one. There's only two ways, right? I think you had the right. You got like this nice scenic mill and landscape, and you've got the miller's
very
daughter
classic.
either cutting someone's head off or making out with them.
Well, so maybe we try to subvert it a little bit, and that's the opening scene. It's the classic, the miller's daughter, the stable boy behind the mill. But then for necking, we take it that the miller's daughter is actually a vampire.
Vampire.
Yes.
Yeah, you knew where I was going, John. But I don't know. I guess it's nighttime then, or they're inside the mill. Maybe they're inside the mill. I'm not sure where scenery comes in. Because vampires are mostly out at night. They probably don't get much scenery. Maybe that's the goal. Maybe the goal is to find
the cure,
the spell, or something that's going to let you go out in the day because you're just really into scenery. maybe she's a vampire that paints, and she's tired of painting.
Really wants to see the sunrise.
Yeah, she just wants to paint a nice mountain, hillside scene. Then we can bring painting in as a game mechanic as well. Somehow.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone can break out their what was it? The U-Draw tablets.
It's a little bit of
more peripherals needed, of course.
Draw with friends. You only get to start in primary colours, and then you have to pay extra to get the secondary colours.
Yep. Classic microtransaction strategy for sure.
Basically, because I'm seeing that this is a mill, and mills aren't really used nowadays, so I'm seeing it as maybe the 1300s. So you were saying before about her painting interiors. Well, she's just sick of painting like pure black because there's no light in there.
They had candles. Come on.
She's poor. She's a
lanterns, perhaps.
Actually, I learned making a candle was a lot of effort back in the day.
Oh, I know. I've been to Sovereign Hill.
Unless you use the really expensive stuff, which came from Wales, then the candles wouldn't last very long.
But maybe she's killing all these people so that her dad can use their fat to make.
Okay. Is he a vampire too, or he's just like helping his vampire daughter out because she needs light to paint by?
Exactly. I think that she got stricken down by this curse.
Yep.
And he now just tries to help her out by making human scented candles and
gets her canvases.
Yeah.
And black paint.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the canvas is just human skin. Like, use every part of...
Yeah, that's true.
Use every part of the victim.
Reduce, reuse, recycle.
Yep.
Every good vampire's code.
She uses the leftover blood for paint.
Oh, that's true. She can paint it black and red.
Yeah. The only thing is she can't do self-portraits because she doesn't show up in the mirror, so it's really difficult.
She doesn't know what she looks like anymore.
So what's the gameplay here? I'm almost thinking this would be... because that's sort of an interesting setup, world-building kind of thing with a bit of narrative there. Is this a bit of a kind of open world sort of...
exploration sort of thing?
Yeah, so exploration, hunting at night through this small town and attacking people in dark alleys.
There has to be
having to drag them back.
There has to be a painting element to it. I reckon it'd be open world sort of sandbox sort of thing. And you go around, you have to like kill people. Maybe you can kill people for certain colours. And then every time you get to a certain waypoint, you have to paint a picture there. And all your friends can do the same thing. And then you can go and look at the pictures that your friends made at that certain waypoint. Because you'd be looking out at the scenery.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
So I'm wondering, is it then like a sort of paint by numbers sort of thing? So you're not having to draw this thing because that'd just be horrible?
You have to look at the scenery and draw it, but that's what makes it so fun. Not everyone has to be good.
You've got your one artistic friend where it actually looks anything like the scenery, and all of the rest, it's just dicks. And they've written, "Fuck you, Trevor," on there.
Yep. And it's only in black and red paint, so you're either getting a black dick or a red dick.
Yeah, I like that. Well, I guess that's after the first level. It's black and red dicks. As you go on, you unlock the other.
That's true. Yeah,
you unlock the recipes for other paint colors.
Yeah, if you kill the baker, you can probably mix some flour and get some white.
That's it. You can lighten it up a bit.
Yeah,
get some pink in there or something. Yeah, I like that idea of having you unlock the resources as you go that you then have to collect to make your colors. Yeah, that's cool. I like that a lot.
And so the final part of the game is you're trying to basically cure this vampiric curse.
Yep.
So therefore, do you have to find the person who originally turned you, and if you kill them, then you go back to...
I reckon you have to buy the cure. You have to go... all these paintings, they're all giving you experience, and when you get to the final person who has the cure, you need to impress them with a portrait.
I was going to say, you have to paint them. Yeah.
Of all the colours you collected, this is what you use them on to make the most beautiful portrait you can, and you buy the cure.
That's it. I like that.
Except if you draw a big black dick, she doesn't give it to you.
Game over.
Yep.
We're really going to have to ramp up our dick detection algorithms for this one.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. I think, I like that. I like that.
Yeah, so do I.
All right, let's click again now.
3, 2, 1, click.
Pig pen.
What, Pigman?
Pig pen.
Oh, Pig Pen. Okay. I was going to say, I didn't wonder why Pigman was in the dictionary. Pig Pen. Okay, I got Greed.
Ooh.
And I've got Bunch.
Bunch? Okay. Bunch, Pig Pen, and Greed.
Does it have to be? It has to be about politicians, right? A bunch of them.
About what? Politicians?
Corrupt politicians, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I heard Pigpen and I was going to Peanuts, like Charlie Brown.
Ah, yeah.
I'm not sure if Greed and... Wait, what was the word, Trevor?
Bunch.
Bunch. Okay.
Greed works in corrupt politicians.
Yeah, that does. Yeah. Doesn't work so much for Peanuts.
No. What about hunting out a bunch? Dirty politicians. I just heard a really good documentary about smuggling chimpanzees, and it was really easy for people to get the certification. It's like an official document stamped, and it's all because of corrupt politicians. So, you have to weed them out, but you have to set up stings in order to catch people in the act. So you can set up like bribe deals and
to try to import some chimps.
Oh, that's one way. Well, let's make them pigs, rare pigs.
There you go. Okay. All right. So, how is the gameplay working in this? It's sort of some sort of communication.
I reckon it would be like pre-programmed movement of the AI, and you have to sort of set up the area, the pens, and work out how to time things so that you can catch them doing something bad. So, you slap a pig on the butt so it starts moving. You call the cops so they start coming in. You have your agent that has to call them up and make sure they meet you at a certain area, and then you can see all this stuff sort of happening at the same time. And if it all goes well, you got them.
Okay, so it's kind of like almost like one of those tactical games.
Yeah, where you stare down on, from above, like Commandos.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah, Commandos. So it's a bit more real time. It's not that you've got all this time to plan, but you sort of
construct it.
You can maybe you just have to have the right people and objects in the right places at the right time.
I should apologize because my video game knowledge is not up to scratch. I've been playing a lot more board games and video games, so Commandos is probably one of the most recent games I've played.
I was going to say,
besides League of Legends.
I did notice by the fact that you pulled a 15-year-old game reference out. Yeah. That's all right.
It was only 15?
I don't know.
And it wasn't probably the most recent Commandos either. It was probably number 2.
No, nearly 20. 98. There you go.
That's not true. I've played more modern games than that. That's all right, then.
Okay, so you're trying to capture these crooked politicians by creating these stings. Do all the scenarios have to involve pigs?
No. I just thought pigs was good for politicians.
Oh, okay. Okay. We could involve pigs as well.
Yes.
Maybe it's set in a world of anthropomorphic pigs.
Yes. Perfect.
It's like the pig version of Commandos, but they're like they're not military. They're like it's like
Hogmandos.
It's like it's Antifa. It's like the anti-fascists. But they're all pigs, and they're trying to take down the corrupt politicians.
That sounds great.
In this fascist government. Cool.
If you guys have a better idea, please just
No. I like it. I'm just trying to think of what now if they're all being pigs, what extra gameplay elements we can bring into that.
Well, you said creatures, so you have all different types of people, types of.
Oh, okay. So different types of animals.
Yeah, I mean, you might have like a wolf character,
Yep.
who's obviously a bit more vicious.
Yeah, he's your your killer. He's your muscle.
Yeah, your muscle. Might have a weasel.
You've got there you go. I was gonna go rat, but weasel's even better. So you sneaky one. Get in there, steal the documents you need for proof.
Perfect. Yeah, you've got your team of anthropomorphic creatures. Hey, you got it one.
Yeah. I like that idea of this sort of tactical team of animals.
So it's basically Zootopia.
So what would be the demolitions?
What? Sorry, Trevor. The demolitions. I don't know.
Yeah, what would be the demolitions? A warthog, maybe.
I was going to go something like a chimp or something that's got some opposable thumbs to set up the.
Oh yeah,
squirrels packing in all the bombs where no one suspects.
No, squirrels are just your delivery mechanism.
Oh yeah.
Dying for the cause.
But you never want to send a letter via snail mail.
That's one of the missions, actually. You do have to send it via snail mail, so your whole mission is just like protecting this fucking... It's the horrible escort quest.
It's a 4-day mission.
Real time.
Real time.
No, that's kind of neat.
It is.
All right, let's click again, I think.
Let's click again. 3, 2, 1, click.
Loincloth.
Ease.
Ease? E-A-S-E?
Yep.
Potential.
Yep.
I thought mine was going to be great, but then you've given us 2 other words.
So, loincloth potential. And the ease of putting it on. And is this a fashion-based, like a cave person fashion game?
I see the loincloth as giving you powers, like, Super Mario hats.
Okay.
Like the raccoon hat?
loincloths?
Yeah, different loincloths. And I feel like it's one of those games where you know how you try and chuck your penguin the furthest or, fire your rocket the highest and you just try and get to that next level every time? But you're wearing the special loincloth. Okay.
I think it has to be set in modern day as well, though, and you can only wear the loincloth. So everyone's looking at you real funny.
Yep.
Because they don't necessarily know that your loincloth has special powers. They just see a person running around in just a loincloth.
How about just like a loincloth superhero?
Yeah. Or he's got his little... I was going to say he's got his little something full of loincloths, but where would he store them? He's only wearing a loincloth.
In his loincloth.
In his, each loincloth contains all his other loincloths. It's a magic set of loincloths, but he does have to change them, and he's also a little bit shy.
Maybe he doesn't just wear a loincloth in the loin area.
Oh, he wears loincloths sort of all over?
Well, he could put one on his head.
Yeah.
He could put one around each arm, I guess.
It's sort of like these fancy sleeve sort of upper arm.
Hanging off him.
Yeah. Loincloth sort of
ease of access.
Around his shins. Oh, there you go. Ease of access. Nice. So every time, but he does have to, like the one, they all have different powers, but he does have to be wearing, you have to be wearing the one around your waist that has the powers that you need to use. So, his power, his loincloth that gives him ice powers is the one he keeps on his left arm. And so if you're wearing the one that gives him flying powers, you have to, probably land first would be ideal. And then find a place to change where you're not flashing everybody.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It'd be really disturbing if you have to change loincloths mid-battle.
Yeah, definitely. Just dick flopping.
I'm now picturing that all the people that see you land as you're flying, they go, and they're just covering their eyes.
They look up. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's, whoa, I didn't want to see that.
Well, I'm worried about who his arch nemesis is, though. If he's like, I don't know, what's his superhero
he's
name?
Loincloth Man.
Yeah, Loincloth Man, I guess. Who's his arch nemesis? Is it like G-string dude?
Either G-string dude or just nude man.
It's like Bikini Girl.
Yeah. Girls can wear loincloths.
I don't know. Yeah.
Or is it just some sort of like Neanderthalic caveman-y dude? with a club.
He's like, you stole all my loincloth. That's my look.
Yes. Yeah.
You stole my look, you bastard.
So he's gone the opposite and is wearing a suit.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Good. Well, it's still modern day, right? But he's somehow this Neanderthal-looking guy, and he wants to wear. Yeah, maybe he used to be the loincloth person, superhero,
or he got to this point of power via his special loincloths.
Yeah, and so your character took it upon themselves to derobe him. I guess. Take his stash and use it for your own purposes.
So I'm seeing this as like an open world gameplay.
I think it's got to be. Yeah, like you want to be flying around loincloth flapping,
like GTA.
Yep. Yeah, I'm thinking GTA.
Yep.
But no, I'm thinking definitely no like car travel or anything like that. But just a massive open world that sometimes you'll have little small crimes.
Well, if you put on one of the loincloths, you actually turn into a car.
Oh yeah.
And the car is wearing a loincloth also. Or it has all the, because you have to show all the different coloured loincloths at all times, right? So you know which one you're selecting and switching between.
Yeah, totally.
I'm sort of picturing like, having those games, you'll often, to change weapons, you'll, hold down left trigger or whatever and move the thumbstick in a circle in a particular direction. It's like that, except you have to know that, my blue freezy loincloth is on my right arm, so you have to kind of point up in that direction. So when you're a car, you have to know, like, there's one, instead of on your right arm, it's like flapping on the aerial, and instead of wearing it on your feet, it's hanging out of your boot. I don't know.
What's most impressive is when he puts on the loincloth that's similar to Mario's one. You know how you like shake the controller and he sort of glides down because he's spinning around really fast? He's gliding down. That's the most worrying loincloth to me.
Yeah, just doing the helicopter.
There's no support there in loincloths. What kind of support do you get in a loincloth? How's he supposed to chase people?
That would be kind of painful, I think. If you hold down the button to run, he just gets this grimace of pain on his face.
He grimaces as you go. Yeah.
Yeah, but then you're wondering, is it the bounce factor, or is it the fact that he's just run over like broken glass in his bare feet?
Yeah, true. Yeah, or unless he's got special loincloths for his feet. The loincloth of moving really fast.
And it's like one of those RPGs where you can assign the loincloths to different parts of the body.
Oh, right. So you can have multiple in use at one time, depending on where on the body they're equipped. Is that it?
How disturbing is it if he equips loincloths to his hands and they're the things that he punches you with? You're literally getting punched in the face with a loincloth over a hand. That's being near his junk.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, you just de-equipped that from your loin area and equipped it to your hand. That's disgusting. You didn't even wash it first.
It's kind of adding insult to
you
injury.
You did it very slowly in front of me. That's just wrong.
While staring me right in the eyes.
I was about to say, the eye contact was unnecessary.
Yeah. I like this idea, though, that they wherever they're equipped, that's sort of where it works. So yeah, if you equipped your left hand with the fire one, and you can throw fireballs, but it would make sort of makes sense to equip the flying one to your loin area, because that's sort of your center of mass, and although if it, I don't know how it flies, does it spin or it flaps or something? You're probably gonna get a view there. Like that's always a factor. And you also don't want to equip your like freezing one to your loin area, because the way
do you have to like hip thrust, and where's the freezy bits coming from?
I was going to say, you're going to get a really inappropriate animation as you fire off your freeze blasts at the bad guys.
Now I just want to see what happens if you do equip the flying one to the feet, and you just see this guy flying through the air, just upside down, being dragged along by one foot.
I think a big part of this game, there definitely has to be a meter just for how offended everybody around you is, based on how much of your genitalia they've seen. So And what? So yeah, if you use the flying one, you can put it on your hands. That's probably the safest because you sort of just lift your hand up and it brings you up into the air. You can put it in your loin area, but you might get a bit of visibility. You definitely don't put it on your feet because then you're flying upside down. And you're hanging out everywhere. But I was
Unless
thinking
you have the loincloth of support.
You've stolen one of the G-strings from the bad guy.
Yes.
I was gonna say though, if you do then use the freezing loincloth, then you get the benefit of shrinkage and you actually offend people less. So there's strategy here,
But it's it's just the constant drawing thrusting to fire off the ice pellets.
Yeah, that exactly.
It's
a balance. It's a balance. You're thrusting, but you're doing it with a penis that's halfway up inside your body. So go away. All right. On that note,
I love it. 3 to 1 click.
Stealing.
Orchid.
Cross.
Stealing, orchid, and yours is cross, Trevor?
Yes.
Okay.
Crossed. Orchid is like the flower of death, isn't it?
Oh. Okay,
I better check that in case internet gets angry.
I was going to a very garden-based game, but I like where that's going a bit better. Take it a bit more metaphorically, perhaps, or some sort of symbolism there. Stealing and cross.
So for cross, I'm seeing sort of a religious aspect.
Well, I was way off.
If we want to go down,
you were just going in the anger direction, weren't you?
I guess I was trying. This has got love, luxury, beauty, and strength. That's what orchids represent. A lily. Lily is a thing of death.
Lily
flower
is
of death.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, we could go with general flower themes from orchid. Though.
Yeah, no,
Maybe...
let's go with something nice. I mean, we've had dicks, and more dicks, so let's go
which flower represents dicks?
Yeah. Okay. What do we got? Stealing, cross, and orchid. Okay.
And orchid.
Orchids are actually quite impressive flowers. They're very hard to grow, and they are expensive.
Okay, so are you a thief who's stealing orchids, or I was almost going down the way of having a thief who leaves different flowers or different types of orchids as their calling card or something?
Yeah, calling card. Who does he cross?
Yeah.
You just make people really cross when you take their stuff.
Okay. So you go and steal a bunch of their flowers and you leave them one, or you're stealing like their jewelry and stuff?
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking more of a traditional thief, like, jewelry or like big heists, art thief or something.
Yeah, I like it.
I don't know if you play the thief or maybe it's one of these games where you go back and forth. You play the thief, but then you're also playing the person like investigating it. Although that might make I'm just trying to think, because the orchids could create some interesting puzzles based on which orchid they left and figuring out the symbolism. But if you're also playing the thief, then it might make it too obvious. Like, I'm going to solve this mystery that I just created.
It's cool. It's like a Sherlock Holmes sort of thing where you've got this really intelligent, dedicated cat burglar and you're trying to work out exactly what he's trying to tell you.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, maybe it could even be like a point-and-click adventure game sort of thing. Or a bit like those Sherlock Holmes games that have come out recently where you're sort of just investigating different scenes, different crime scenes, dialogue trees.
And you're trying to find all the pieces to the puzzle. Yeah.
And so you have to research and such. You have to look up stuff about orchids and...
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Talk to people and figure out, that there's some personal relevance to them as well as you sort of narrow down your list of suspects.
I believe there's actually a Sherlock Holmes board game coming out soon that does a very similar thing. With an integrated app. Oh,
that's cool. So it'd be interesting how the mysteries would work for that.
Yeah, I think they've got about 450 missions or something because it's based off the app. They just upload a whole bunch of new missions or investigations in there, and I believe that they're aiming for 600 or something like that. So it's very hard to sort of repeat that. But integrated with the app, and you actually have to do your real life research online and then work out the problem.
That's really cool. It's like a cooperative game sort of thing, or
I think so, yeah.
like everyone, yeah. Interesting. That's cool, yeah.
That sounds really cool. Okay, so how can we do something just as cool for us?
Well, there's only so many orchids, so we're a bit more limited in the breadth of what we can give content wise. But I'm thinking it's just a single story involving the orchids play a key part.
Maybe it's what he leaves the orchids on.
Right, that could have to do with it.
Gives you the clue. Like the
Mm.
orchid might be in front of a photo frame that has 2 people on it, and one of those people is a target for the orchid killer, orchid burglar. I don't know what to call it. I'm not good at nicknames.
No, me neither. It's either going to come to me or it won't. I'm not going to sit here and try to make one up. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't know. Is there anything more we can do with this, or have we just come up like with an idea where we're like, yeah, that would make a cool point-and-click adventure game?
Yeah, point-and-click adventure. Yeah,
If we
I
could
think
do
I think
anything
you got
extra
it.
with it. All right, let's click again.
3, 2, 1, click.
Firewood.
Mine is university.
And mine is proving.
Okay,
Proving. Like alcohol?
No, Provi.
Oh, okay. Yep.
So, I mean, I immediately go to
Okay.
some sort of fraternity, sorority, sort of hazing kind of like proving yourself, I guess involving firewood, involving flames.
Jumping over the fire, stepping over hot coals,
Yeah.
brandishing a burning torch,
Oh, yeah.
and running naked in the loincloth across the campus.
Okay, so I'm seeing this as, given that, like, I know Ben and I don't really like fraternities. Let's go a secret society that exists within this university.
Okay.
So it's like, kind of like a Skull and
Well,
Bones
yeah.
sort of secret society.
Yeah, or the stonecutters.
Yeah, or the... Yeah,
That makes
Or
sense.
the No Homers Club.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm thinking it's a whole heap of like almost a mystery sort of game where you get a mysterious note saying that you must bring something to the fire pit, maybe some firewood or something like that. And as you go through, there's different things that you must do to prove that you're trustworthy. And
Go through each ritual.
yes.
Okay, so this is another sort of narrative sort of thing, I guess.
Yeah.
Why have you been chosen? Do they just choose people randomly? Are you an especially good student? Do you have connections?
I think maybe that could be part of the mystery as you're trying to work out why you would have been chosen.
Okay.
And
That's a fantastic answer for avoiding any other questions.
At least until we get later into
I'm
the
trying
game.
to think, but it's just, it's really hard without coming up with some of the rest of the story.
Yeah, true.
Yes.
It's all part of the mystery.
Come up with it, Trevor. Just come up with it. That's what we're here for. All right. So again, I guess I'm picturing a bit of a like Life is Strange kind of vibe. I mean, that was set at a school as well, but
Yep.
just that sort of, and I mean, I guess that's very similar to a point-and-click adventure game in a lot of ways, a bit more modern take on it, but again, just the exploring and sort of figuring out what's going on.
Yeah, talking to people.
Yeah. We've already done a few games like that, though. I wonder if we can mix it up in a different way.
Well, you've probably been chosen because you're gifted in some way. So maybe there are certain things you can do, like
that others
telepathy, telepathic powers. So,
okay, so
you have
it's
to
a bit
try and
more
work
of
out
a-
what's going on in the school, and you've been chosen for something, and you can sort of manipulate your environment a little bit with telepathic powers, find out what people's reactions are, gauge things.
Yeah, well, I wonder if then this secret society is all of the students who have powers.
Yes.
And so they've sensed your potential.
But they're all fiercely loyal to someone higher up in the fraternity. Not fraternity, in the secret society. And you're suddenly outcast because you did something that they didn't want you for anymore. And now you're finding out what all these people's powers are and having to fight them or get around them, expose their weaknesses.
That's a bit better. So it's a bit more of an action game.
Yeah, there'd
like
be a lot of boss
third-person
battles.
action kind of thing. Yeah. Like a bit of a Devil May Cry or a God of War sort of thing.
You jump into the battle and then you'll probably end up dying. But maybe your power is more like resurrection-y. So you jump into the battle and you end up dying, but then you wake up a couple of hours later and you're like, oh, what did I do wrong? It must have been what was his power? It was throwing fireballs. So if I bring
you have to
water,
prepare a bit better.
He can't do anything. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
If I end up being wet, if I bring my flaming loincloth, I'll be okay.
Well, I kind of like this idea of the third-person action game mixed with a bit more of the adventure-y narrative sort of stuff. So in between battles like that, you have the opportunity to go around and talk to people and learn more about what's going on, and also gather resources to prepare for the battle, which you now know is coming.
Yeah, I like it.
Oh, so you've almost got like a Batman Arkham Asylum detective mode that you can do some investigation thingies of trying to work out who the next kid with powers is, and then you can
who the next person trying to kill you is.
Okay, it has got ice powers. Okay, what's going to beat ice powers?
Yep.
Okay, the flaming loincloth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or you can make decisions about where the fight's going to happen, perhaps.
Yep, where it takes place, who's going to be witnessed, or which allies you can bring.
They have ice powers, so all right, it's going to we'll make sure that the confrontation happens at the beach party with the big fire, the bonfire going on, and then you've got some resources there to take him down. Not in
the Olympic-sized swimming pool.
Yeah, exactly.
That they just turn into an ice skating rink, and it's like, oh god damn it!
Only when you're underneath the water.
Yeah. Shit. Yeah, that's kind of cool. I like that. That's an interesting mix of genres.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, click.
Lacrosse.
Spoil.
Robot.
Robot Lacrosse Wars.
Yes. That's awesome. It writes itself. Yeah, so it's like battle lacrosse. I mean, lacrosse is, from what I hear, kind of full on anyway in a lot of ways.
Yeah. It just it reminds me of that classic gif of the robots playing soccer. You know how one tries to kick a goal and the ball's travelling at like -2 kilometers an hour, and the robot sort of jumps to try and get it, but misses horribly.
Yes.
I do remember saying that.
So are these like modern?
It's today's robots.
Yeah, I was going to say, are these modern like future robots that can actually play lacrosse, or is it literally
Let's
you
say
are
they're
programming?
piloted. No, they're piloted.
Oh, okay. So they're a bit more like mechs kind of thing. They're
How about this? They're piloted by people's souls, people that have been spoiled.
Oh God. So it's kind of like this is the Gladiator Wars, or like the Gladiator Coliseum of the future, when they take the spoiled souls of people who have done things wrong or against their religion or whatever.
Yep. They stick them in a giant robot.
Stick them in a giant
hook
robot
them
and
up.
make them play future lacrosse.
Yep. Make them play lacrosse.
I'm just imagining this big, 18-foot pole with a net on the end that is like spiked down one end, and they just like beat the shit out of each other, and
like a hellbeard on the other. All armor plated. This is like Evangelion.
Yeah, you can
sorta...
throw it as a spear.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Pin down one of the other robots and.
Okay, so what's the ball?
Oh, it's got to be like a giant wrecking ball, doesn't it? A spiky wrecking ball. You could even throw it at the other robots.
Yeah, definitely. You've got choices here. You can try to get into the goal and win, or you can just eliminate the other team by just blasting it right at their face.
Now, as a question, are you piloting one of these robots, or is this like a FIFA sort of game, or is this like a team management game where you sort of equip your team and then watch them play?
Or a bit of a Rocket League kind of thing where it's multiplayer.
Yeah, you pilot one of the robots.
You're piloting one, yeah. I think it would be most fun if you're piloting one.
Oh, definitely. You get to equip
if
your robot.
Just one.
You could add a management aspect to it as well. So, I mean, and that's you wouldn't actually be doing that if you're playing the soul that's piloting this thing. But we can muddy that up a little bit. But because I like the idea of being able to pick and choose your teammates.
Yeah,
based
totally.
on their different skills and things, and whatever the sin was they committed to be.
This just jumped into the only computer game I play now, which is League of Legends. So it's basically League of Legends, isn't it? But with giant robots playing lacrosse instead.
Totally, you can add tons of characters in, and I like this a lot. I like this very violent. You can like knock people's limbs off and stuff, and then throw the limbs at them. And
yes, oh yeah, that's awesome. So you pick up one of the other robot's arms, rip them off, and you've got two weapons suddenly.
Totally. If at the end of the game, like the field is not just littered in robot limbs, then you're not playing it right.
So at the end of each, are we doing quarters or halves?
I don't know. What does lacrosse have?
Nah, it's got to be one round, because I think by the end of it, your robot's beaten.
Well, yeah, but maybe there's an aspect then of you've got limited resources to maybe you can send out. There's like the lesser souls that aren't very good at lacrosse, but they are like the ball boys kind of thing. But they go and collect. You've got a little mini game where you have to go and collect as much of the wreckage left on the field between quarters or whatever, and then use it to bolster your damaged robot.
That sounds good. I'd actually play that.
Yeah, for sure.
My main concern in the multiplayer mode is, like, within the first 13 seconds of the game, someone basically disarms and dislegs you, and you're basically useless for the next 5 minutes.
Well, I think it's got to be a bit more difficult than that. I don't think you can just take an arm off in one go.
If you are just a torso, it would be difficult.
Well, but then your teammates can pick you up with the lacrosse stick and launch you across the.
You become a permanent goalie.
Field. Yeah, that's it. What are the goals even like in lacrosse? Is it just like?
I think it's similar to hockey, but a little bit bigger.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah. Okay. So that can be a strategy: is block the goal with as much wreckage as possible, including the torsos of your teammates.
Yeah, you could even collect bits of robots and just sort of pile it in front of your goals.
Yeah, that's a valid strategy.
Stop it happening.
No holds barred, definitely. I can imagine it just feeling really good to play. Like, you get hold of the ball and you have to decide, all right, I do have a shot to goal, but also I could just like do my power move and slam it right at the opponent who's like
into their face.
Yeah, just like slam it right into their face, possibly take their head off. You just see the soul like fly out of the body. And then hopefully your team member who that robot was covering will take the goal. Yeah.
Nice.
It's really cool.
I reckon we should move into our final segment.
All right. So for our final segment, Alex, I'm going to ask you a question. What is your most anticipated video game? Although I guess it could be a board game too for this segment.
Oh, I didn't count on you actually saying video game. I thought, well, when we were chatting before, you said game.
I did just say game.
Awesome. I'm going to throw a spanner in the works and give you a board game. Right.
It can be a video game or a board game because for this game, the title is all that matters.
Excellent. Okay, well, next year, Seven Wonders is a very famous board game.
Yes.
Is celebrating its 7th anniversary. Okay. It's a game made by Antoine Bowser, and its 7th anniversary is going to be releasing 2 smaller expansion packs. One's called the Leaders Anniversary Pack, and the other one is the Cities Anniversary Pack. And both of these are I'm very much looking forward to.
Okay.
So the game itself is called Seven Wonders.
Yep.
And the 2 expansions are called Leaders Anniversary Pack and Cities Anniversary Pack.
All right. So what we're going to do, what we usually do with this segment, is we're going to take the title of that game and we're going to throw away everything that we know about it, and we're just going to come up with a new game. And I guess in this case, it could be a video game or a board game.
Just for the record, I thought I'd pick one that hopefully you guys don't know. Was I right?
I've heard of Seven Wonders, but I haven't played it.
Perfect. So you guys are on a blank slate.
So that's it. We're on a blank slate already. We didn't even have to work to clear our minds of preconceptions. But yeah, so we're going to take that name and we're going to come up with a new game based solely on the title. Trevor, do you think we just stick with Seven Wonders, or...
We start off with Seven Wonders, and then if we've got time, we'll add in the expansions.
What would you like me to do?
Well,
you have to forget everything that you know about Seven Wonders.
I'm trying as well. Okay.
With the idea too.
All right.
So if we just take the idea of Seven Wonders, I mean, Seven Wonders already. Obviously, you think of the Seven Wonders of the world, and I assume the board game probably has something to do with that. So we could do that, or we could take it in a different direction. Maybe you play like a team, like a superhero team called the Wonders. Or a band. Although that was a band.
I was about to say a band.
That was that thing you do. They were called the Wonders. Then we're just making a That Thing You Do video game or board game.
What about 7 different crystals?
Okay, so there's 7 different crystals, the Wonder Crystals, and they're spread between 7 different cities and held by 7 different leaders.
Ooh.
Yep. Like it.
And you have to collect them all. So what are these?
You gotta collect them all.
What's the power of these crystals? What do they do? Is this? I mean, I think it makes sense that these crystals are somehow what put these leaders into power. That would make sense. They've given them some sort of advantage over.
I'd say
fellow.
Slightly. They all have the power to manipulate people, but together they can manipulate nations.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
So maybe it's that, maybe each crystal can manipulate a different emotion or something, or
yes, yeah.
Cause
and it's got like an aura. So you control the crystal, and within that aura, you can slightly manipulate people's emotions.
Well, that could be interesting because you could have these very different types of leaders. Then, the person who has the fear crystal is running a very totalitarian kind of state or city. I guess it's cities, but whereas the person who has the love crystal or the happiness crystal or something,
the love crystal. No, let's go with that.
The love crystal. There's just orgies all the time.
He just draws a dick on his desk.
Yeah. No, but I mean, so he's a much loved, obviously, leader then, and
there's the guilt crystal.
There's the guilt crystal, and that leader is the leader of the Catholic Church.
It's just in the Vatican.
Yeah, that's the city. It's in Vatican City.
Oh God!
Somewhere there's got to be the dark crystal.
The dark crystal. Yeah.
Yes.
And it's a city full of Muppets. I don't know. What are we up to? 5, 6? No.
So I'm just wondering, why are you the one charged at?
Too much power.
Because you're a sociopath and you don't feel emotions.
The crystals were once controlled by an ancient brotherhood that hid them away from the human race.
Yeah. And these leaders...
And Muppets.
And Muppets. The Muppet race. So how did these leaders get a hold of them? They've or you're trying to return them to their safe...
There was a strange thief that stole all the crystals one night and left an orchid there.
Left an orchid in each place, yeah.
And he was paid a lot of money to get these crystals.
Okay, so somehow these crystals were found and these leaders rose to power, and now the Brotherhood has come to you.
You've been trained all your life for this.
And your trusty loincloth.
What was that, Trevor?
And your trusty loincloth.
God. It's going to be one of those episodes.
You can fly or teleport. Your loincloth of teleportation. Oh, I'm in China. Oh God, Tibet. It's cold up here.
Okay. So the sort of gameplay I'm seeing is like one of those
Assassin's Creed-y?
Banjo-Kazooie 3D platform games.
Okay, yeah, that's good. I'm amused at the sort of the subject matter seems a bit darker than those sorts of games usually have.
Well,
but
it depends
fine.
what emotions you attribute to the crystals.
That's true. It depends what level you're on.
Yeah, because there could be just like a happy crystal, a jokey crystal, a stupid crystal.
And the dock
Okay,
crystal.
there you go.
The dog crystal, yeah. The sleepy crystal.
Instead of one of those sort of 3D platform games, how about like the Alice, American McGee's Alice?
Oh yeah, I mean that took that
Sort of
darker turn on that sort of thing too.
Twisted darker, but still 3D platform.
Yeah, although that one was a bit more linear. I like the idea that you could maybe tackle these in any order a bit more. You've got your hub world, and you go off to. All right, I'm going to do some more of the fear crystal levels.
Oh, that could be fun, and you're basically building up power of trying to actually stop yourself from becoming influenced by the fear crystals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe you have to.
Because the crystals would sort of exude some sort of emotion that would affect your gameplay.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
And maybe the sub-bosses actually have like artifacts that can actually stop certain aspects of, say, fear.
Yeah, they stop you from just running away from...
Well, the other leaders would have to have some sort of defense against the other crystals. Otherwise, one crystal would be more powerful than the others.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe there is an order you have to get them in, or at least you have to play up to a certain point of, the happiness crystal before you can fight the boss of the sadness crystal, because they counter each other in some way.
That would make sense.
Oh, and playing it longer and getting further, you get more immunity to the other side. But,
yeah.
That could be kind of
cool.
I
mean, that could kind of be part of your upgrades and stuff. To slow down the effects of certain types of crystals.
I imagine a fairly large skill tree like Path to Exile.
Yeah.
Be sort of, central in a couple of different skills. I mean, if you were trained by an ancient brotherhood built on protecting these crystals.
Yeah. Yeah, you can have a lot of skills at your fingertips.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like that idea as well, and that you've got, like, there can be sort of trees for each of the different emotions.
Yes.
So maybe it could even be that if you get the right skills, if your fear meter goes up, and I mean, you can balance this in different ways, but it actually powers some of your moves, powers some of your attacks and things.
Ooh, yeah. Because the dark crystal, that's the ultimate one there, right?
Definitely.
So you're building your way up to the dark crystal.
Yeah.
And plus you have to fight Muppets, not people. Or Muppets and people.
The problem with the dark crystal is it's not actually complete. Like there's a little shard that you need to find.
See, I haven't seen the movie in like 25 years, Trevor, so I'm assuming that's
a
reference. I'm assuming that's well, apparently they're making a new movie, I think.
The Labyrinth. They made a board game about the Labyrinth.
Oh, really? I want to play that. I love Labyrinth. Does it feature David Bowie's junk?
I believe it has a lot of movie references in it and is quite thematic.
I hope that's one of the pieces.
His
cod piece.
But the problem is if you play Jareth, then you've got to actually you got to learn that touch juggling. So you've actually got
yourself, like the player has to learn it,
and you has to do it. Otherwise, they have to forfeit the character of Jareth.
Right. So okay, whoever plays Jareth is the one who can do what is it, Fushigi, the best.
Yeah.
So you fight the Dark Crystal. You have to kill the Muppets. You have to kill the people who are controlling the Muppets.
Yep.
And,
yeah, that's right. You have to fight people and Muppets.
Extra hard. Yeah. You knock a Muppet off a hand, and then the person just stands up and
you just see a hand just sitting there and goes, whoop.
Well, you're essentially fighting someone that has 3 hands, right? Because the Muppet's got 2 hands, and the person controlling the Muppet has a spare hand.
It's a pretty skilled puppeteer.
you get to the final one, and it's like you actually find out that you've just been going up against Goro from Mortal Kombat.
But he's a puppeteer. He's like one puppet on each hand. And then you find out that that Goro itself is just a puppet, and inside is Jim Henson.
Aha! I'm not dead.
It was me the whole time. I was your beloved Goro this whole time. All right, I think we'll end it.
Yeah, I think we'll
on that note.
That was awesome. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, no, thanks for coming on. That was really good. We're just going to go through our housekeeping and such here. So, if you want to find us on the social medias, we are on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram as BitstormCast. We also now have a Facebook group on Facebook, funnily enough, where we now put up a listener click pitch every week. So we put up a couple of random words and we get your ideas of the game designs that could come from that. So come and join us there, facebook.com/groups/Bitstorm, or just search for Bitstorm and you'll find it. You can also find us on iTunes, so rate, review, subscribe to us there. That would be great.
We also have a website, bitstormcast.com. We'd like to thank Kuradust for the song Map Defiance off of the album Containment Failure. We'd like to plug the AGPN, the Australasian Gaming Podcast Network. You can find them on Facebook and or Twitter by following the hashtag AGPN. Ben, would you like to plug your own website?
Don't say it like that every time. Come on, man.
Ben has developed an amazing website called Podchaser. I recommend that you go to podchaser.com, search for Bitstorm, and rate all our episodes 5 stars.
Yeah, do that.
Especially this one.
Yeah, definitely. 5+ star. I'll go in there. I'm the developer. I'll add an extra 6 star just for this episode.
In fact, Ben's just going to add it to his user so he can go and
6 star all the episodes that I like. Definitely. I'd also like to mention the 2 pods a day campaign that we're participating in October. You can check that out with the hashtag 2 pods a day, number 2 pods a day. All through the month of October, they'll be highlighting 2 independent podcasts per day. So yeah, it's a good little campaign that they've been doing for a few months now. And Alex, do you want to tell our listeners where people can find you?
Sure. I'm on Twitter at BlueRoomBG, where you can argue with me about game mechanics or things coming out. And it also shows you photos of games that I'm playing at the time. I have Dysard, the podcast, on thevideoshoppod.com.au. And we are actually starting a brand new podcast network called Boomer Radio, or Boomer Radio Network. And that'll be brnau.com, as in Boomer Radio Network Australia.com, and that's going to feature lots of really, really good board game stuff. So we've got a review show, we've got like an audio play show, we've got an interview show, we've got like really good educational stuff. If you're into design, it's going to be huge.
Cool.
When we launch.
Sounds awesome.
And come and find me at PAX at the TGDA booth. That'd be good.
Definitely. We'll be at PAX too, but we don't have a booth. We'll just be around.
We'll be the 2 guys in the Bitstorm t-shirts going...
Listen to our podcast.
Hey, you want to come on our podcast?
We'll look out for you.
So I think we'll finish there. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thanks to Alex for joining us.
No problem.
Thanks, Trevor, for being on our podcast again. You remind me of the babe, Trevor.
What babe?
The babe with the power.
What power?
The power of voodoo.
Who do?
You do.
Do what?
Remind me of the babe.